Hello. Oh, I didn't know
Howdy.
my live. Okay.
Now you can hear me, guys. It's been 3 weeks. Okay, welcome to the Wheel and Chill show. As I was saying, even though you couldn't hear me, there's always a mistake that is made on this channel, and I like to get it out of the way early. So,
Listen, I said we were the most professional show on the planet, and look what we've done.
look what we've done. I think we've proven it to everyone.
I'm embarrassed.
Don't be embarrassed. It's my fault. Okay, so I know I'm mute. Thank you, Beth. I shouldn't be muted anymore. So, if you still can't hear me, please, I guess, let me know. But I can see it on my screen that I'm talking. So, anyways, thank you all for being in the chat. It is a lovely Tuesday evening, and we are here with a very special guest, the lovely Nae'blis. Welcome to the stream, Naebs.
Well, thank you for having me. That's the very first time ever in my history I've been referred to as lovely. So,
Oh, well,
I
you're
appreciate that.
Trying to get people to come back. So
yeah, right. Lots of flattery and pet,
Just blow that smoke. And
pet
yeah,
names. Okay, so this what we usually do is we start with little introductions. You all know, if you saw my advertisements, that we're going to talk about the Forsaken today. But before we get into the Forsaken, we're going to talk a little bit about WatCon, because Nae'blis is the esteemed leader of that future enterprise,
Grand Tuba.
and we're going to talk about just ourselves, but just only very briefly. So Nae'blis, if you don't mind, would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Nae'blis. I make Wheel of Time content on YouTube. I'm a part of a podcast. I'm a shill. I work directly for Amazon to promote their show. Get paid a lot of money to do it.
So much.
From Amazon directly. That's a lie. That's not true. And I'm also I'm one of many people that are helping to run a new Wheel of Time convention this year in Columbus, Ohio, called WatCon, on July 8th through the 10th. And Kritter's coming. So,
Woo! Woo! And so is
Yes.
Tavern. So,
yes,
We're all-
yes, everybody is coming. Why
I'll
aren't
be
you?
there.
why aren't you? And I think so.
Mhm.
On the topic of WatCon, before I introduce myself, no, you know what? No, let's introduce ourselves, then we'll talk about WatCon.
Sure.
I'm Kritter.
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to talk
No,
about
you're.
WatCon.
You know
My
what?
bad.
That's I kind of. This is the way.
My bad.
Well, no, you're totally fine, because that's one way to introduce yourself, as being one of the people in charge of WatCon. We'll circle back, though. If you're familiar with corporate business terms, it's usually a nightmare, but this time it's going to be great. I'm Kritter XD. I am on TikTok. I do Wheel of Time and other fantasy and sci-fi related content. Obviously, I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitch. I have an Instagram. I am at Gwaine Alvear on Twitter, and I have my own Kritter XD Twitter also, and I have a Discord. So if you're involved in any of those things, then I appreciate you very much. I am also on the social media team for WatCon. So if you see any super hilarious WatCon memes, I had something to do with them. I didn't necessarily make them, but I had something to do with them. So Tavern, why don't you introduce yourself?
Howdy. I am Tavern, known as Tavern here on the show. I am supposed to be on TikTok, but I've taken a small hiatus. I will be returning to TikTok shortly. I am on Twitter. I do make merch. Speaking of which,
It's so shiny.
Ooh.
a new thingy, but there's only one of these in existence. I'm going to say that right now.
Must be nice.
Listen, Europe traveling lady. I want to hear it. Anyways, yeah, that's me. Find me on Redbubble. Baron Tavern. That's it.
Buy his stuff. All right, so Tavern, Nae'blis, and I are all going to WatCon this year. It's all very
Yes.
exciting. And
Oh, I didn't say I was going.
oh, just planning it. Just planning it.
Yeah, just planning it. Well, actually, I didn't mean to throw this off. When I said it was a con, that's actually what it is, guys. There is no convention. It's a con. We took your money.
Don't say that. Don't say that. That is not what happened. They're gonna.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think at this point everybody knows I'm a smart and never to believe anything that comes out of my mouth. So, but yes. No, I am very excited to go to WatCon. It's going to be a lot of fun. So sorry I didn't. hopefully I did not discourage you from going. I did announce something last night, so I think this is actually important. So we can take this opportunity
Let's go.
to announce something. If you are planning on going and attending WatCon, get your hotel room now because the hotel is just about booked solid and we're about to run out of rooms. So
Ooh.
you can do that for free at WatCon. Well, not at WatCon.com. Go to WatCon.com. Click the link for the hotel. There's a booking thing there. Book your hotel room. There are other hotels right around us that you can book at. They're not as cheap. But also, you definitely want to be in the hotel. Like, that's one of the things you learn about going to these conventions, is you don't want to be elsewhere.
Yes.
They also have a WatCon rate at that particular hotel.
Yes,
which is lower than everything else around it.
Mm-hmm.
That is good.
It is the truth. So make sure to do that.
Make sure to do that. Jammer MD on Twitch, thank you so much for the subscription. So I guess here's the question. If you have one particular thing that you're looking most forward to for WatCon, what would that thing be, Nae'blis?
Well, okay, so I'm going to make it two things, even though you asked me.
Bring it on.
Because there's the one obvious one that's the real answer here, and that is I just like seeing all the people again. Like, that's the reason to do these. That isn't what sells tickets here, though. I mean, you want the juicy answer, so
I do.
Yes. Really, though, what I'm excited for is actually the programming, because I think it'll be unique. Like, I think anybody that's been to other conventions, I think this will feel different. So I think that will be fun. It'll be a little bit more entertainment. Like, obviously there will be panels and things like that, but the idea that we're aiming for with this is just fun, right? And there will be main programming that everybody will attend. A lot of times at cons, you kind of go to what you want to, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But like, what we wanted was the main content, like the main programming, to be something that everybody at the con was at. So think of it like theater style, like you're at a work conference, but it's not work, and everybody's in the room, and there's stuff going on stage that's, programmed, right? That'll be funny. Recapacity from Wheel Talk is helping to plan some of the funny stuff. And if you know anything about Brian, he is hysterical.
Hilarious.
So it is going to be a blast. We've got Matt Hatch is hosting, emceeing the event. We have special guest Daniel Green, Michael and Kate Redding.
That literally blows my mind. I'm obsessed.
They're a ton of fun. So I was emailing back and forth with Kate the other day. She's just a hoot, and they're really excited too because they're going to be doing some fundraising while they're there for their big charity, which is Books for Prisoners. And the thing with it, they'll record your voicemail, or they'll make a ringtone for you if you want. So like you could have Michael Kramer record some line if you want.
Oh,
on your phone. Like he'll do that. So
I want, absolutely.
Yes. So that's the fun part about this is, we've got those. So the reality is, honestly, I am just excited to see people. But I think the content will be fun. Like, I think the general idea of the convention will be a lot of fun too. I think it'll be a fresh take on that. So again, the idea here is we really, when we put this on, the idea sprang from JordanCon last year. Was we were all sitting around on the last day, like, this sucks. Why don't we just have another one of these? And that's what we did. We have another one of them now. So that's kind of where this is at.
I was kind of waiting for you to say about the guests because, so I met Daniel Green, and he's hilarious and super fun to be around and love him to death. And I'm really excited to see him again. But when I found out that Michael and Kate were going to be there, because I listen to them literally while I'm going to bed at night. Like I'm currently rereading The Way of Kings right now. Like I'll listen to them while I'm walking my dog, while I'm working out, while I'm cooking. And so they are literally in my brain constantly. And I think seeing them in real life will probably make me short circuit. And I can't, in the best possible way. And so I'm pretty jazzed about that.
Well, the cool part about this is the very first in-person convention they have ever attended.
That is really cool.
So they've never been to any other conventions or anything. This is the first one in person that they've done. So it is exciting.
That is exciting. Tavern, is there anything specific? Because you have not yet been to a Wheel of Time con, period, right? So is there anything specific that you're looking forward to the most?
I am a Wheel of Time con virgin. So I'm looking, probably the most important thing is meeting the people. Like, basically meeting you. We've been doing this for a while. We've never met in person.
Yeah.
Meeting, the lovely people that come out here and join us on our shows, the people that I communicate with on Twitter. Some people from Facebook, although I'm not really sure. Just depends.
Facebook? What?
Yeah,
I have no memory of that place.
Listen, I'm trying to be open arms, kind of, No, it's going to be exciting. It's the people. For sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's obviously gonna be the absolute highlight. And Nae'blis, you said that it's important if you can to stay in the host hotel, and that's very, very true. Because literally, if you're anything like me, you're gonna be going to bed at like 3 a.m. and you're not gonna want to have to like physically travel anywhere besides through the elevator up to your room. Also, Random Noman says somebody's going to have to hard reset Kritter. That is a fact. Like, it is going to have to happen, but it's fine, and I'm really excited about it. And you know what?
Make you a shirt with a reset button.
Every now and then, you need a hard reset anyway, so it makes a lot of sense. Okay, so WatCon details. I feel like hopefully we've hyped it up enough that every single person in the chat goes and gets their membership as soon as they can at watcon.com. Now let's talk about the Forsaken, shall we? The Forsaken.
Yes.
Is this a good time to let you know that I have actually never read the books? So is this a spoiler stream? Or?
We're just going to randomly throw a name out there and you just tell it what the first name comes to your head.
That is a good point. It is a spoiler stream. And we're just going to spoil the hell out of it. And you're just going to have to deal with it, okay? Full spoilers.
If I'm not mistaken, somebody went to the dark side not too long ago. I believe Kritter became a dark friend at some point. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
That is fake news. Absolutely not. Never in my life. No, thank you.
You should be a dark friend.
Well, you know what? You're welcome to try and convert me. Oh, also, Wolf Brother in the chat. Excellent point. Volunteer. The link to, or the form or whatever to volunteer for WatCon is also on the WatCon website. So check that out.
I gotta do that.
We need volunteers, and it's an excellent way to meet people. So if you want to do that, if you want to meet people and be one of the cool kids, like one of the insiders, you know what I mean? You should volunteer. Have I sold it? All right, let's go. I'm on the social media team. This is our market. I'm on the marketing team. This is like it's my thing. Okay, so the vibe.
Become a dominate.
The vibe of today's stream is a book versus show Forsaken deep dive, and that might be a little confusing because, as far as we know, we haven't met any but one of the Forsaken yet in the show.
Well, technically, we don't know that we've met one if you haven't read the book.
True.
Like I think just show watchers may not know that was Ishamael.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it said Ishamael. This is full spoiler. Yeah, I got this. It's totally full spoilers.
Sure.
I think the subtitles had Ishamael as a spoiler, maybe an accident. I'm not sure. I feel like it was an accident. Because they were playing it off as if that was the Dark One until the very end, without changing their tune. But yeah, we all knew obviously that it wasn't the Dark One. So.
Right.
I am probably wrong, but I'm still sticking with Loghain's little force puppets that were behind him whispering to him. Looked a lot like the description of Masana in the tower in the books.
It was shrouded in darkness. That might. Yeah. I mean, you might be wrong. So. Oh, go ahead.
The official name for those is taint puppets. You just gotta make sure taint puppets.
Okay, force puppets, taint puppets, got it. But yes, I still think that there might be more than one Forsaken dipping their fingers into the mix.
Yeah.
They might have shown it, but we don't know.
So it might be more than just Ishii that showed up in season 1. Or other than, and I have visual aids, these bad boys, okay? We have 8, right?
That's 8. I had to count, yes.
Presumably, Ishii is one of them. there were 8 statues in the scene. I believe it was in episode 5 where Stepan was like warding them off or whatever. You know, I would think not praying to them, but praying around them. And so we have some hints here about like it raised a lot of eyebrows, mine included. Mm-hmm. Are we only going to have 8 Forsaken? You know, before we get another one, assuming Taim becomes a Forsaken at the end. Spoilers. So, Nae'blis, what do you think is going on with these statues?
Well, here's what I struggle with. Okay, the 2 things. I want to first of all address, I don't think we've seen any of the other Forsaken yet. I think that the idea of the end of the show was that was what released them. So, just as a thought, I think that was what they were intending.
I like
it. But Ishi was out already. Not out, really. But you know what I mean. He was making an impact. He was
in dreams, and then he manifested there, and then that was
because it's closer to the source, right?
Right. Now that's a side note. But on the topic of these, like I really hope they don't cut any, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I don't think that it's necessary to cut them. I think what they need to do is flesh them out more. You need multiple baddies. I can understand the rationale between cutting them down to 8, but the reality is they're of the 13, many of them kind of die anyway, right? Like early on. What I would do is just not bring them back.
Interesting.
So yeah, like I would just not bring them back to life. Yeah. Anyways, that's my thought. I would. It's very possible that we only get 8. I'm hoping that isn't true. That's kind of.
Okay. Oh my gosh, looky here. Jessica said I donated $10 through Super Chat. Wheel and Chill love, but Nae'blis and no wigs is weird. Here we go.
There it is.
You know, I actually thought about bringing out my TikTok props for this, just like in your honor, basically, just in case somebody donated, so I could put my Rand hat on or something.
Did you get them back?
K-pop.
Did you get them back?
I ordered a replacement Rand hat, and I've ordered a replacement Quisiera, and no, my luggage is in the wind. I submitted a claim for it. We'll see if Southwest gives me money, but yeah. I know, it sucks. But thank you, Jessica. That was very, very kind of you. And thank you, Nae'blis, for bringing the wig to Wheel and Chill. We appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. I kind of disagree with you on whether they should all be there. I was kind of in my head thinking, well, first of all, we have 8 statues, so let's assume there's going to be 8. And who could be combined here, right? I really personally enjoy the Robin storyline and don't really give a shit about Ishamael. Like, and I like how Ishamael ends though. And so like part of me's like, let's not care about like Ilion or whatever and focus on his. I hate it, but it's really cool. Let's focus on his. It's cool. It's not cool. Dear God, it's an interesting plot line where he's manipulating Morghese, right, and like fully corrupts Camelin. Oh, here we go. We got a Loyal's Library donated $4.99. Rand hat. It's all the way upstairs. I'd have to
send a text message.
I'd have to leave, or I'll see. Okay, I'll see if I can send a text message. So yeah, there are certain ones that can be combined. Granted, like a lot of the female Forsaken, I feel like play a lot more interesting roles by themselves, like Masana being like the one in the tower corrupting everyone, Semiraj being the one with the Shan-Chan, Moghedian being the one that the girls capture or whatever, Lanfear being Lanfear. you're not gonna get rid of her. Did I miss one? Here, I've actually got.
What, the female?
Yeah. No,
so we got Lanfear, Grendel, Semiraj, Masana, Moghedian.
Oh, Grendel, just like.
Grendel, yeah.
I mean, I guess you could combine like Grendel and Moghedian and just make Moghedian like super sexy, right? Or something. I don't know.
No. You cannot do that.
Okay. So you don't want it to happen, the diminishing of Forsaken, right?
No, because I think they can be great villains. Like they're very flawed, very powerful characters.
Yeah.
Now I will say that I think we probably are going to get the 8, primarily because we did not see. I think had we seen Agenor and Balthamel at the end of season 1, I think we were probably still going to get 13.
Yeah.
Because those two play very small roles up until later in the books. So like if they showed up, then it would make sense that we were going to get more. But now that we haven't seen them, I do think that was deliberate with the 8. Now the only devil's advocate here that I would throw out there for them is, yes, they only showed us 8 statues, but let's just say the editing was not always on point, and there were times where they cut things off that they probably shouldn't have throughout the episode. So I would not have like 100% throw out the idea that maybe they just didn't show us all the statues, or maybe Steppen didn't have all the statues, because also Rafe made some comment right after that was sort of like, well, they don't know everything, wink wink, or something like that.
It's true. Okay, Beth Weston says, with a $10 in super chat, thank you so much, Grendel or bust. See what I did there? I think we all saw what you did there, Beth, and we all appreciate the pun.
I don't get it. Can you explain it to me?
let me. Should I focus or zoom in on this one on the far right? Like, I feel like that's. Oh my gosh! Wait. Hold on.
Pat coming in.
It's coming in. Yeah, it's just like still from a distance. Will you just throw it like to me from here? Yeah, like all the. You don't have to be on camera. That's the camera.
Coming.
It's coming. The Rand hat is coming. Thank you so much, by the way, Loyal's Library. Okay, let's go.
All right, so Random Gnomon brings in. There's the hat.
Guys, I don't know how I'm gonna do this with a headset, but okay, actually that works. Okay,
Works good.
It's fine.
Random Gnomon brings up a good point, where we've got 8 statues. It definitely seems like there's 4 male statues, 4 female statues, and that might be showing a balance, right? Mm-hmm. It's all about balance and stuff. So that's that's a good point. My thing with the statues, I think there's going to be 8. Again, if there's more, I always want more, but I think there's going to be 8. And who shows up is really dependent on who these statues are representing. We've kind of gone over that in a previous show. I think we kind of went over this during the episode 1. So out of all of these, we know there's Modian is there.
With the guitar.
Ishi's there. Ishi's the one in the middle.
With the mask. Cause
with the looks like flame. Yeah, flames in his hole, or holes in the mouth and eyes. I think Samael's right next to him on the left.
Because he's short.
Yeah.
Got him. Sorry.
Grendel, of course, is on the far right, or we think. That just depends on who these other ones are. Lanfear, I think, is middle next to Ishi.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what do we have on the left? Far one on the left might be a Moghedian?
I think that's Moghedian.
Yeah.
Spider-like, right? And
yeah.
then, I don't know who the second one is.
Semirog.
I was thinking Semirog too.
And then what about the second from the right? Short one.
That's a dude,
next to Grendel. I think that is a dude. Yes. That's the one
dude.
that I've always had issues trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that could be Bilal. It could be. I mean, I think it would be a crime for them to cut Asmodean. I think.
Well, yeah.
I think that's a great plot line that would work out well in the show. So.
Well, we've got the guy with the guitar. That's got to be Asmodean. The guy next to him.
Wait, did I miss that?
You think Demandred?
Where do we see that?
He is in between. He's the third one from the right.
The third one from the right.
He's holding a guitar.
He's holding a guitar.
It's not as big.
Sorry.
Yeah,
he's holding a guitar.
Okay, so that's Asmodean.
Yeah.
Then
do you
the
think
other
Demandred
one
is next to him?
It's either that or like Robin, right? Like.
It depends on if they go the Camelin thing. It's a tough one. I don't know which one that is. I honestly, that's
we're
the one
at the
I'm
point.
Yeah,
I mean, it would have to be Robin, Demandred, or I mean, I think Ishamael is the one with that looks like a Wookiee.
Yeah, the short one. Yeah,
with the beard. Yeah,
with the beard.
Like, I don't know what that's, but he really does look like a Wookiee in that. So I don't.
He kind of does.
A Wookiee with a haircut.
Some of the Wookiees were more human-like than the others. Well, no, there weren't. What am I saying?
No.
I'm trying to be generous. Never mind.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think it has. So we've got Asmodean. It would be shocking to me if they cut Demandred.
You
Maybe
think?
they'll mix them, or they'll join them. Should be weird.
You
but...
like the big Shara twist at the end? You think that's like good TV?
Well, so not so much this big Shara twist. Here's what I would rather see. I would rather see what Brandon had intended for Demandred, because I think it's such a great storyline that I wish he had time to further flesh out. I don't know if you guys are aware of what Brandon had intended for that.
Hit us with it. Let's go.
I read a little bit about it, but I... Go ahead.
So,
Yep.
yeah, his original intention was to set Demandred up as the opposite of Rand, like somebody who had every chance to basically be the greatest hero ever and just made the wrong decision. So he was going to put Demandred, and you see that the River of Souls, you see bits and pieces of this, but Demandred becomes the savior for the Sharan people. Like, this all happened off screen, so we didn't get to see it.
Right.
But he becomes this savior figure and frees their slaves and could lead them in a positive direction, and instead still chooses to follow the shadow out of jealousy. And it's like, so this one flaw keeps him from being the greatest person of the age.
Right.
When you hear Brandon tell it, it's a lot more compelling, but I feel like that would be such a great... Like, everybody loves their fleshed out villains, like Thanos in the Infinity Saga. Right? Like, well done, right?
Really well done. Yeah.
Same idea. Like, I really feel like they have an opportunity to flesh that out, and that would be far more compelling than seeing Perrin hang out with White Cloaks and Massima. And
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, just tell me that
not
that's not
wrong.
right? I would welcome that. So
we could get something like we got with Logain, where it was a lot of his stuff in the early books was off screen, but in season 1 it was like, it'd be really sick, the Logain stuff, and they put it in there and it was sick. Like, I really liked it. They tweaked stories to make him more interesting, to have like confrontations with him and some of our main characters, and I thought some of those moments were the best moments in the show. So I guess I could see them taking Demandred and like making it less of a surprise and kind of building him up on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
well, you're hitting on... I was going to say, I really think, Kritter, as much as we got of Logain, I think one of the mistakes that they made in the first season was not expanding him even more. I would have loved to have seen even more of his story taking up a large part of that, because it is really interesting. And so in the same way, that's what I want them to do with some of the other Forsaken as we get to them, but also specifically Demandred. I want to see that not only expanded, but expanded a lot.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, he fell in love with the Sharan people, and just who they were, and which is why, like you said, he could have been this great savior, but he ended up going down the wrong path. And if they did what they did with Logain, with him, or with any of the Forsaken, I think it would be cool, because with Logain you saw this guy that everybody's like, oh, he's horrible, but he was very, very compassionate.
Yeah.
The way they made him look on the show. So if you kind of do that with one of the Forsaken, that would be amazing. And then have him, flip would be, toward the end of the series would be incredible. Yeah, that would be totally interesting.
That would be cool.
Question is that him or is it Robin?
I guess another, like, assuming these are the only ones.
I wish I could.
Somebody made a really good point that that's like the rookie, a rookie set of the Forsaken or something. Anyways, like, it's a good point that like that's what remained of his mother or whatever, and so it could be just an incomplete set. Like, easily enough that could be the exclamation. Also, Nae'blis, I have a question. What's the statute of limitations whenever you put on a wig? Like, how long does it last before you take it back off?
If it's a big tip, I leave it on for a little longer.
Okay.
But if it's a little itty bitty, then I just, whenever my head starts getting itchy.
I'm just getting a lot of comments. I feel like it's very distracting. Although
no, it's entertaining. People
Okay.
just find it entertaining that you can have a real conversation with a ridiculous hat on.
I guess that's fair. We'll do a little longer.
I had a random thought.
Okay.
I don't think that's Demandred. I have a new theory.
Okay.
That just came to me. I don't think Demandred. I don't think we're going to see Forsake. I don't think they're going to mention him existing. Or if they do, he's a dead Forsake. I just think that he'll be downplayed because I do think they're going to do Demandred.
Okay.
And I think this would play into that, actually. By not having him be one of these 8.
Oh, so he'll be a new, like, who, like, earned his spot.
Well, either that or he's a long forgotten Forsaken or something like that. That way it's a little bit more deception about who he was.
That's interesting.
I think that would make some sense. Now, because it really doesn't fit the description of Demandred at all.
Yeah.
Like that little statue does not remotely fit the descriptions.
It is
So
very small.
I found another image that really zooms in on that, is focused on that statue.
Uh-huh.
And it almost looks, it's weird because it almost looks like Egyptian.
I did notice that. Yeah, it's got some.
He's got like a goatee. He's got like a goatee and maybe like a pencil thin mustache kind of thing. But he's wearing on his head looks very pharaoh-like.
Mm-hmm. He's got like a neck
Egyptian.
like ornament that looks sort of like Egyptian-like, and that's in like the forefront of my mind because I just watched Moon Knight. So it's like,
right.
I can see it.
Oh my God, that's Mark Spector. He's one of the Forsaken. Goddamn. But yeah, and so I'd have to go back and look at the descriptions of each of the Forsaken to see if I could point that. I mean,
but that to me though, like all the Shara stuff happened in the Third Age or whatever. It didn't happen back when these statues would have been like inspired or whatever.
Well, we're 3,000 years after all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, the Sharon stuff is new.
I don't know.
That's just what it looks like to me. I don't know.
So, I feel like we've kind of broken this down, right? So, are there any Forsaken plots that y'all think are like, we don't necessarily need that? Because keeping in mind the fact that we only got 8 episodes for season 1, and I think the time has expired for the hat. Always happy to put it back on, but I think we're done for now. It is a little itchy. Where was I going with that? Oh, there's only so much time to create a backstory for 13 possible characters that are going to be like nicely fleshed out villains on top of all the main good characters that we have. And so I guess the point is, like, if they do end up shaving some things away, what wouldn't detract as much from the story? And my submission is Ishamael's Ilion plot. Like, what? I don't even remember what the hell he did.
Ishamael?
What? Yes. Yeah. Other than die. Like, his death scene was cool because it was in Shatter Logoth and all that stuff, and like the fight with Rand was neat. But
it was primarily a big pain in the ass for Rand, just randomly coming out of nowhere with an attack here and there, just to kind of, like with the whole thing with the Shido at Carrianan, he attacked Rand out of the blue, just, took a stab of opportunity. So I agree with you. I don't think him being out of it would be a huge deal, but I think he is in it. Because he's supposed to be a great
tactician,
general, kind of. Yeah, tactician. So, I think Samuel might be in it, but I could see where it could be gone.
I would sort of agree with you in the sense that he's not very effective in all his little plots, although he does actually play a large role in the movement of a lot of the plots in the story, though.
Yeah.
So the Shido, for instance, which I hope they cut, or at least I hope they die after Dumai's Wells, but
that would be nice.
That he's instrumental in that whole plot because he's the one that sends them in random places all over the place. He is the focus of the giant battle buildup that Rand has, right? Where he sends all these troops. It
sends Matt up, and
so he sort of plays the bad guy for like 3 books. Now he doesn't do a ton in Ilion. I don't feel like Ilion is nearly as important a city as some of the other cities in B. So I could see a very easy combination if we had to look at who could they combine of Ravine and Ishamael.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way I would go, and I would ditch Ilion, and I would make it Camelot.
Same. Totally.
That'd be
That's
cool.
what I
Yeah.
would do.
I can go with that. Yep.
Totally agreed. JSC, thank you for the sub on YouTube. I appreciate it.
Nice.
Somebody said they should get rid of Cimaraj, and I'm like, I loved
No,
that.
no.
I loved that. I thought it was great.
I could see getting rid of Masana
Yes.
as opposed to Semiraj for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
We know that. Okay, so Agenor, Alphamel, and Bilal all could go. In my opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right? And
After season
Masana.
1, it's even before.
Masana.
Yeah.
That's 4, and then we need one more would bring us down to 8. So if you're saying combining Raven and Samael,
Well,
put us at 8.
Nae'blis' theory that maybe Demandred will become a Forsaken during the series is interesting.
Possibility.
And I like
Yeah,
it.
he still falls in that 8. Like if they if they blend Raven and Samael, right, as you guys suggested.
Yeah. Well, you
still
said
keep us at 8.
you said that we had 9 left, but if we get rid of
No, we have -4 if you merge 2. It gets rid of 1. Right? Because so that would
okay.
put us at 8. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Good. Then that works.
Yeah, I would ditch Masana. I definitely would not cut Cimarog. Keep in mind
Like
too
Cimarog.
that the 13 Forsaken were not the only Forsaken.
Right.
They were just the most powerful ones that happened to be there. So they could very easily take like Agenor and still have him be responsible for Trollocs, but have him be killed in the Age of Legend.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So like they could still drop those little Easter eggs because really Agenor does a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
A whole lot
He
of
shows,
nothing.
up and, he shows up and dies.
He kills himself in Eye of the World and then pretends to be an man for a while and then gets killed. Like he does nothing.
Yep.
Like nothing. He's worthless. He's the most worthless Forsaken, even more worthless than Bilal. Bilal at least sets a trap for Rand and almost kills him, if not for Moraine. Like Agenor does nothing. Agenor kills himself, burns himself to a crisp, and then gets killed by a random Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
In fact, no, he gets killed by a Black Aja Aes Sedai. So, anyways, yes, Agenor equals worthless.
Yeah, somebody suggested combining Masana and Moghedien, and I feel like I could see that depending on the timeline, because like Masana's big, like her big crescendo was like her White Tower thing, and she ended up facing Egwene, and you know me, I want Egwene to have all the glory, and so I want her to take down the Forsaken that's trying to corrupt the White Tower. Like, one way or the other, I need that to happen. If that ends up being Moghedien, totally fine with me. But we've got the issue of Moghedien getting captured for a very long time, eventually escaping, and then, like, throughout that entire time almost, I think, Masana was corrupting the tower, but maybe they could work their way around that by having her, like, having corrupted the tower previously, like, maybe manipulating Leandrin or something, and then getting captured, but they're all still following her orders because they're terrified of her. And then she eventually comes back, and that's when Egwene confronts her. I could see that working.
Well,
So
Masana is one of the most effective of the Aes Sedai. Like,
Yeah.
she actually gets shit done.
Yeah. Yeah.
yes. So she's in the White Tower. She sets herself in the White Tower when she, is released from the with the seals and stuff.
The seals.
Seals. Well, that's what the pattern on the floor was at the end of the seals.
Yeah.
So she sets herself up in the White Tower, right? We've got Moghedien doing her thing. I can see where they might combine that, especially since, Gwen, Nynaeve, Elaine run into her throughout their little trips to Ebu Dar and Tanchico and all of that stuff. It would make sense if she knew that they were on those trips, since she's probably the one that would send Leandrin if that's the way they go on the show.
Yeah.
And tries to thwart them. So I could see where that mix would be. But there was a lot of stuff happening while McHedian was captured until I think it was Arengar that cut her loose and sent her back to Shao Ghul, if I'm not mistaken. But she immediately went into a mind trap after that, if I'm not, I think. So I would see, unless they get rid of all that, that's the only way I think that would work. If they merge Missana and McHedian, there's a lot of conflicting stuff there. It would be tough.
The problem I have with I look at compelling plot lines, like what would be fun to see, and I always loved the Moghedian being captured.
Yeah,
I put it in the same category of having Asmodean following.
Yeah.
That's a really dynamic and fun plot point to have the bad guy helping the good guys, right?
I totally agree.
So I think that would be a major loss for the show if they cut that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Asmodean is a big fan favorite too, which is funny because he's like so short-lived, kind of like in the grand scheme of things. But he's just, I think part of the reason he's so compelling is because we do get a little more personal with him, right? We find out more of his motivations. We see him as a person instead of just as this like ethereal being that shows up in the world of dreams every now and then, or and blasts people's hands off. Like it's just it's he's a compelling character, and I think like if they cast him right, which if history is any indication, they absolutely will. He could be a super fun character to have in the show, and it would be. I totally agree, be a huge loss without him. I think that's part of the reason I'm like, get rid of Ishamael. Like, he's not that fun. When I get that he is like a puppet master though, and so like having him manipulate the plot could be important.
I think he and Ravine can play this. I feel like Ravine is sort of a throwaway. Like he does really impactful things, but he's not a really well-established character in his own right. Like Ishamael is way more established as a character than
and
Ravine.
he affects the main characters more. Really, Ravin is more of a more type thing that impacts Camelin. Depends if they're going, for example. We know that, for example, Harry Potter, they stuck to the main plot line and pretty much snipped all the other stuff for the movies and whatnot. If they are taking a similar path with this, where they're having to cut things to stick to the main plot, ML makes a better, has more impact, I think.
I guess.
Well, and we've seen his statue.
She's
so
like,
I
I
think
guess.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. His statue looks like it's there. It's whether he's like gonna be combined. If like maybe the guy who's in Camelin's name is gonna be Ishamael instead or something. But I mean, you're right. But I guess I'm the person who, again, I found the Morghese being compelled, her completely changing, Linny, like her not going to see Linny anymore. All that stuff was like, it felt more personal to me, and so I was more interested in it than like Ishamael's just kind of like, 10,000 feet in the air type movements.
Well, and that's my point though, is I think that they could basically Ishamael could do those. It's like there's nothing that Ravine does that Ishamael couldn't do.
Yeah, I like the fusion of the two. I want to keep the Morghese plot, and I've seen some people say that they think that Morghese is just going to be not in it, which I mean doesn't make sense since we're getting Elaine. I don't think. Do you think we're going to get Morghese?
I don't think as much as you would like. I think she'll be there.
I mean, I hate the White Cloak plot. I'd be fine with that not existing at all.
I don't think they want to go. The reason I could see Morghese being cut, and I won't use the word, but I think they want to stay away from sexual abuse, if you will. Like, I just don't see that becoming a thing on this show.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I think that would strike the wrong tone. And so I think you get that multiple times with Morghese.
Yes.
Now they don't have to adapt. They don't have to adapt it that way, to be very clear.
Right.
But because I would say this, I think that the whole Morghese being the queen but having to be a servant thing is also sort of compelling.
Yes.
Like it's an interesting plot line. How we get there is not so interesting. I hated the White Cloak stuff with Morghese. I found it to be boring. Like there's just not. Yeah, I just don't find it interesting. I like Morghese actually as a character, but yeah, I don't find it to be all that interesting up until we get her pretending to be a servant to Leo.
I like that part of it too, the her being a servant. I think the one loss that we would suffer, and it would be a loss, if we got rid of the White Cloak plot with Morghese, is I would want them to figure out a reason for Galad to still challenge the Lord Captain Commander, because that was a cool scene, right? Like,
Yep.
that was neat,
Yeah.
and, like, honestly, it could be nothing more than he finds out he's a dark friend. Like, whatever. Like, I don't care, you know, because, like, it could be something else. It doesn't have to be, you know, like, you abused my stepmom, obviously. Like, that's totally fine. I would like some White Cloak politics, that included, because I really like Galad's redemption arc. For me, was really satisfying. Like, going from me hating
Right.
him because he is such a prudish, like, straight-laced, you know, I don't know, square, and then he's still a straight-laced square, but he finds a super hot babe that he falls in love with, challenges the leader of the White Cloaks, becomes the leader, and forgives Perrin, like, almost all in, like, a month. Like, bless his heart. Like, he really redeemed himself with me.
I mean, they could have her go after Bear. I don't know.
I mean, Morgase's story arc is amazing. It truly is.
That's good.
It's a really good arc from where she goes to what she goes through, and then she comes out the other side. But it is compelling, and it's one of the good. You know, I enjoyed that part of the books. Somebody was saying that was the slog for them. Other people loved the Perrin fail thing. It was boring as crap to me, right, with the Shido and all that. But I think we're going to see her just not as prevalent as their characters, right? Because they have to cut some stuff.
Absolutely.
I mean, look at Basil Gill. Basil Gill had a bunch of stuff in the books, and he was relinquished to pointing to a room, then bounced off screen, right?
He didn't have a ton
He wasn't-
early. Like,
he wasn't necessary.
yeah.
He wasn't. Exactly, he wasn't.
I think I'm just looking at plot dynamics. I think is interesting. The scene that comes to mind, and I think it's you know, now that we're 10 years from it, I think it's okay to say Game of Thrones spoiler real quick for the early seasons. But the scene with Arya serving like wine to Tywin Lannister is a scene that comes to mind there, where the audience knows something that the character on screen does not, and that's always compelling,
Yep.
especially if it's well written dialogue. So, like, that's why I love the Asmodean is really the bad guy, and nobody else knows it but Rand. Like, that's cool. I actually love the Halima stuff, believe it or not. There's a whole different. I actually have a thought that they could make Halima just Halima, not a reborn punishment, but just literally a woman
Character
who
on
channels
its own?
Saidin. Yes.
That would be amazing. A perfect fix for
Mm-hmm.
the controversy of Halima's
Of course,
character.
that would trigger some people, but I would love it.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
But yeah, like, I actually love those moments where we know something that the characters don't. Okay, I think it makes really compelling stories. So that's the piece with Morghese. The rest of it, with like Padron Niall and, you know, traveling and going to the Fortress of the Light, boring as hell. I hated that.
I think they've already kind of stepped away from that on the show by the way they've introduced the White Cloaks and who the two leaders are. You know, they've changed Valda, right? They changed his whole classification within the White Cloaks for the show.
Yeah, he took
which I thought was
Jachim,
interesting.
Carradine. At least that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they're gone that route, which is great. I enjoy that because, the Pedro Niall thing was just super boring, and it was so quick. It was almost like, why even bring it onto the show? He was there and then he was gone. Did a couple of little things and gone. And when you're mentioning something that the audience knows that the characters don't, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Hitchcock that brought that to the screen. You would see the bad guy in the background and the character on screen didn't know it, but you saw it coming. And that's where you get people screaming in the theater, he's behind you, that kind of crap. So completely compelling. It's amazing how much that does for a scene.
the original Halloween movie is that way. Like you see Mike Myers in the background of like every scene, just walking around, and it's terrifying. So I
would love to see. They've kind of done that with Adam Fane as well. You see him in the background, and you're like, "Oh crap, something's about to happen," right?
Yep.
And nothing happens. They're just putting him in there, and it's like in your anticipation up. Love to see something like that with the Forsaken, where they do exactly that, where you see them on screen, but the characters don't see them, kind of, just to give them that aura of fear, and get us all worked up. So when they actually do show up and do something, you're like, holy crap, they've lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
That would be because they have to be really bad, right?
I mean, if the White Cloaks could be as powerful as they were in the show, the Forsaken have to be like they have to be more than what some of them were. Obviously, so like I feel like every plot the Forsaken was in, it was like oh whoops, like that didn't work out like I wanted. Yeah. So what you said, Tavern, made me think of that was a great segue into how do we think they're gonna show up, like all at once? Are we gonna get a cold open Dark Friend social in season 2 episode 1, like, and we're gonna get 4 Forsaken at once? Are they gonna trickle in? Are they gonna be introduced as regular characters and then we'll find out later that they're Forsaken? Nae'blis, what do you think?
I would love it. I would love it if we got the Dark Friend social. But
I want to see Dana again.
Yeah.
I truly think that I think they'll show up without us knowing who they are.
I like that.
So I think obviously we know who Ishamael is, and I think that cat's out of the. I don't think that we will know that it's Land. I mean, I think we will know that it's Lanfear, but show watchers may not.
It'll be like The Great Hunt all over again on your first read.
Like you might feel like something's off about that lady, but like you're not sure what she is. And I hope they don't say too much.
Not even in the subtitles. Amazon.
Just call her Celine.
In the subtitles, they might call her Celine. Yeah.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
That'd be awesome. Because, I mean, they kind of did that with Dana. I hate going back to Dana, but I love Dana so much. But they did that with Dana. People fell in love with Dana.
Yep.
And then, hello, Dark Friend. That was amazing.
Well, Lanfear always kept you on your toes, too, in the books, because you never really knew what her end goal was. Like, you could never really tell, was she really following the Dark One? Was she following herself? Was she... Because she would occasionally help the good guys. And then, you could never really tell where she was at. Yeah. And I love that about it.
Yeah. I would love, like, if we start getting the World of Dreams, because I feel like one way to have what you were describing, which is the Forsaken kind of in the background, but, like, no one knowing, is, like, having somebody, like, say Egwene's in the World of Dreams, and you see somebody, like, down, like, the street, and they just, like, walk between the buildings or something. And it's like, you don't know. That could just be somebody who dreamed themselves in there, but then later we find out, like, holy shit, no, that was, like, one of them. Or, I think... Isn't the first time that Egwene saw Moghedien, it was in the floating, like, she was, like, she was, like, above somebody.
Yeah, she was watching through,
Yeah, like, Moghedien was watching somebody, and Egwene was, like, watching Moghedien from above. Isn't that a thing that happened in the books? So,
she was spying on the Forsaken, spying on the Forsaken.
That's exactly, okay, wouldn't that be, that would be so much fun to see, and, like, if they can do it visually... Obviously, Teleron Rio, it's going to be really difficult to manage.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about Teleron Rio.
It's such an important part of the magic system and fun of Wheel of Time. They've got to get it right, in my opinion. I hope they do.
I hope so too.
I mean, so far, I've been pretty impressed with the channeling and what they've done with that. To some extent, I'm not going to say it's the greatest thing on the planet, but it's better than I expected. Because if anybody, oh God, Kritter, don't hit me. Anybody who watched the show, Terry Goodkin.
Oh, I watched Legend of the Seeker. I'm not gonna hate you. I watched it.
Okay, all right. So it was a letdown compared to when I first read the books. When I first read the books, I thought they were great books. Going back, and I was older, little flags kind of.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I liked them the first time I read them too.
But the show itself left a lot to be desired. So far, this show's not doing that, which is good. Is it perfect? No. I mean, like, I love the Trollocs. You've heard me say a million times. Not a big fan of Loyal.
I have heard
The
that.
acting is phenomenal. Just the way he looks doesn't do it for me. But I think we're gonna get better. I think they always up their game. They put the first season out, and when they get the feedback and see whether it's going well or not, then they up the money a little bit and they get a little bit better at stuff. So that's what I'm hoping for.
See, I have the opposite. I really didn't like channeling. For two reasons. One, I think they made a mistake by dumbing it down like they did.
Right. Agreed.
I think that was a major mistake. I think they underplayed what the audience would be able to understand. Putting the 5 powers in and making it very clear in distinction that men can't see women and women can't see men. No matter what they say in retrospect, like, you can't watch that show and think that they didn't edit it that way on purpose. Like,
Right.
you just can't. So I think that was a major mistake. I wish that's a major nuance, magic, some of the Wheel of Time, that makes it unique. That they basically shied away from the hard magic system of the books to make it really soft and open, and like that my Nynaeve can do a mass heal, and right, like they broke a lot of the rules from the book. And again, I'm not a book cloak. I don't need an exact adaptation, but I feel like that's one thing I would not have made a change on. Because I think it's a strong thing. So I would have liked to seen different colors for the,
That is the one
slightly
thing that
different.
bugs me. Yeah. Now, to clarify, what I was talking about with the special effects part of it, I wasn't getting into the system, but you're right. You're absolutely right on all that stuff. I was just going for the pure visual aspect of it, with the exception of the colors, which I think would have been phenomenal. I mean, we see a little bit of it when Moraine in the first episode is pulling fire into her weave. You kind of, and
It
you're
gets
like, oh, that's
incorporated
cool.
into it, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. But yes, the black and white thing is kind of, but the visual aspect of it, I think, is really cool.
I think there is a chance, I'm hoping, and I know that they've already done some things that just blatantly violate the magic system.
Yeah.
So like that, they probably can't walk back. They have like explained we can't actually see it. It was just like, she spammed all the buttons and created actual light. Like there are explanations for some of the stuff that looked like a broken rule that could still be explained away.
Sure.
But as far as like the magic system, I am hoping that because we've got some of our main characters going down to the White Tower in season 2, presumably, to get trained, that maybe they will give us a little bit more of that detail. And granted, it's so much better to show and not tell. But I guess being in a magic school is one way to tell and like have it actually work with the story.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be what we get. And maybe there are the different elements, the different types of weaves, and they're just not colorful. Maybe women instinctively know what the weaves are, like even if they're all white. This is me spitballing.
But we don't.
We don't.
And
We
that's the
don't.
thing.
Yeah, that is the thing.
How cool would it have been for us to be able to kind of tell what they were weaving by seeing which colors they're pulling?
Absolutely.
Right? Like,
It would have been cool.
that to me, it would have been super cool. The other thing I didn't like, and this is a special effects thing, it's a choice they made. I don't like the pulling the one power from around you into you. I would rather it come from within.
Yeah.
So like when Moraine was fighting and she has to like pull the power from the sky and stuff, like I don't like that. It's too much. It's too busy.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
I
Like I
thought
want
it was-
it to come from them.
I thought it was a little bit more accurate to the books because they talk about letting the power flow through you, so it has to be coming from somewhere. And they actually, you talk about when the Forsaken have that tether, the Dark One, where they're getting their power from the tether. So I was okay with that. Was it a bit much from so many different? Maybe, but if it wasn't for that, when we got that scene at Tarwin's Gap with Emelisa and the other, Egwene and Nynaeve.
Oh, can we pretend that didn't happen?
Well, what I'm getting at is, it was really cool to see the difference in power between each of the women by what was being pulled into them.
Yeah, I agree.
That was
with
really
That was
cool.
very cool. Cool.
Now, what happened with the resurrection and all that, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah, Noman Garden actually said something in the chat that I agree with. Like, I overall thought the magic was cool. I thought I liked how it looked. It worked. They violated some of the rules. I would prefer them to not do that, but they did it, so whatever. I'm very forgiving with things like this because I am a shill. I don't know if you noticed. But no, Noman Garden says, I have no problem with the gathering of the one power, but it needs to be accelerated. That was my biggest beef, was, like, in my mind, you can do a throwing motion to throw a fireball, but the dancing is what I don't love because it feels ineffective. Like, one of my favorite pieces of channeling, and I know I've said this on the stream, so I apologize, I'm repeating myself, but when, like, Moraine does all these dancey moves to, like, call down lightning and whatever, and she's, like, pulling bricks out of the wall, the best bit of channeling that she did in episode 1, in my mind, was when she glanced down at a staff or whatever and just jerked it up. Like, fast, like, killed the thing, effective, didn't have to do anything besides just kind of, like, go for it or whatever. I love that because that is effective and immediate, and that's how I envision the one power. Literally, like, when Nynaeve does her insanely intense healing weave, it's her sitting there, she delves, and she's like, okay, interesting, and then just boop, like, you know, it's literally, like, in my mind, it was immediate, just like as if she pressed all the keys on a piano for, like, a second. And that's how I always envisioned it, was a lot quicker.
So, God, you're going to kill me. I forgot her name.
Egwene?
No, the actress playing Moraine.
Oh, Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund
Thank you.
Pike.
It's late.
Rosamund
It's
Pike,
fine.
Mentioned this in an interview, you know, that she wanted channeling to mean something and to resonate with movement. And I see what you're saying. So with the staff that she flicked over, right? Mm-hmm. That was a quick. There was nothing to that. She was chucking a staff, right? But the more intricate the weave, the more she had to do.
Yeah, I can.
For example, when she pulled all of the stones from the Winespring Inn and chucked those, once she got it going, she was just chucking her hands and they were flying, right? But it took a while to get to it. So I can see what she wanted to do with that. I actually enjoy it. I think it's cool.
It was pretty.
Faster, sure.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
It was cool.
But
it was
you know,
cool to
it
watch.
had to. She said it had to make sense to her with the magic and the body and all of this stuff.
Well, and I think she is Moraine. So, like, whatever she decides to do with Moraine, like,
sure,
Rosamund, do your thing. Absolutely.
And you can see where it paid off, because when they're stilling Logain, they were all in unison.
Yeah, that's true.
They were all in unison. It was amazing to watch.
I gotta say, I hated that part. I thought that looked so cheesy.
The stilling, the like, whatever we're doing, yeah.
Cross my arms, and I thought that was. I thought that looked cheesy. But I will say that I do think that they're making a point of using that to show the differences in strength too, because at the very end, like, we saw all the stuff they had to do to shield, and at the end, Ishamael's like that.
True.
And she's totally shielded and cut off, right? Like, he just does a little twist of his fingers, and so you can see the difference of how much more powerful she is, or he is, than she is, right? Like, so I think that could be a part of it in terms of that could be one of the ways they show strength. Again, so much to me would have been solved had they just done colors.
Just give us the colors.
I wanted colors too. I wanted colors too, but I had to settle for what they gave us, and you know.
Yeah, and I'm not. It's not that I thought it wasn't terrible CGI. To be very clear, it wasn't. I just thought that it was a little. It didn't effectively communicate the magic system, which I think is one of the draws of the Wheel of Time. That's probably what I
like a hard magic system, me included.
What did you think? What did you think about his little Doctor Strange sling ring?
Oh yeah, I mean, he is the Forsaken, and this is a Forsaken show.
But see, it's not a Forsaken thing, because you know who else had one of them?
I know.
Luz Theron had one.
Yeah, it's not a. You're right. It's not a Forsaken thing, and that's why, I mean, he's got this ring. I've always thought it was a focus.
Mm-hmm. Could be an Angreal.
What is your thought on what it might be?
Could be an Angreal.
Could be. I think if you look, the Tamerlane seat, right, that was talking to Luz Theron, had one as well.
So yeah, it could just be something that they wear too.
I think it's something that allows male and female channelers to work together.
That's interesting.
Or that can help them focus, because his shield was minute. Like he just, like you said, he did something with his hands, and it was just like he focused it and boom, it was done. So I want to see what that ring is further on. I think it would be amazing.
We've got a super chat from Beth Weston, $5. Thank you so much. This is all so serious. Great convo for real. Can we get more wig and Rand hat, please? Love you. We love you too, Beth. You are the best. And yes, absolutely.
How many wigs do you have?
The Rand hat. Oh, that one's great.
Looks like Dr. Disrespect.
He
right
does
now.
look like Dr. Disrespect. That's amazing.
He had glasses and a mustache.
Literally,
like a big black
it'd
mustache.
be perfect.
Would be
perfect. Anyway, so yeah, that thing was intriguing, but yeah, it does feel to me just kind of like something from the Age of Legends.
It is.
A fashion piece. I don't know. It could be anything.
The fact that they zoomed in on it, right?
Yeah.
Showed it.
Felt like a little Easter egg, or
yeah, there was something.
than that.
There's something to it. We may see that. I don't know.
Yeah. So next steps for Ishii, where we talked about how the Forsaken are going to show up, the ones that we haven't yet seen. We don't technically know that Ishii is not defeated, and we don't know that he is indeed a Forsaken. Is he going to come back soon? Are we going to get a fight in the sky in season 2? What's the deal, Nae'blis? What do you think?
I think there will be a fight. I do. I think he'll show up. Whether he dies or not I don't know. I think it'll be more of a fight than we saw there at the end of season 1, because I don't. Again, this is why I say I don't think Ishamael was free. I think that was a projection.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why I think that I think this was the plan the whole time.
For him there to break the seal.
Yeah. So Rand finally broke apart a seal that released them, and that's why he smirked when he died.
I 100% agree with that.
Mission accomplished. That makes sense. Real quick.
I mean, think about it. It was a win-win for him, right? Either he converted Rand to the dark, or Rand broke the seal, channeling near it. He was going to be free regardless.
With the male sangreal that Moraine will be carrying.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that was her plan all along. Jessica said, $5 in super chat, no demands though. So we appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, so I guess. So Ishii presumably got freed along with the other Forsaken in that altercation, because he wasn't technically out yet. So where does he manifest? like is he just going to be in Falma? Like what? Like I don't know. Are we going to see him throughout the season, or is it going to be this big like holy hell he's here all of a sudden at the end of season 2? I don't know. Like I don't know.
I think
I think it was proven that he was a projection, right? It's really
sure. So when's he
season.
coming back? Like,
well, it would be cool to see him manifest in the flesh somewhere, because everybody's like, okay, he's gone. Book readers know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
The show viewers may have a clue. They don't know. I mean, they just think he's a projection. So if he shows up later on, they're going to be like, holy crap, this is cool. So I mean, you have to look at it from both perspectives. We know what's going to happen to some extent because things have changed, right, from the books on the show. But the plot points are pretty much on point.
Yeah,
it's just the minor details that they've been manipulating. So show people or show watchers, I think, will be surprised when he pops up again. I would like to see him in Falma. Then maybe they bring somebody else for Falma. I don't know. Be weird to have somebody else, but you don't know.
The more I think on it, the more that it makes sense. The Dark Friend Social. That's a great place to introduce him, and it's a great. We already know that, we have heard basically, Kate Fleet would say that we're going to see a darker side to Liandrin, which basically in my mind says, okay, we're going to find out she's Black Aja. That's a great way for them to introduce the Black Aja as well. In the same way, we see hooded people or masked people with an Aes Sedai ring. That could be pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a good time for them to reintroduce him.
Could you guys hear my cat? Okay.
Hey!
Last time he came, I'm gonna be on the Black Tower podcast we recorded last week, and he 1 minute before we were supposed to start recording jumped up onto my desktop and turned off my computer. So I am I'm gonna be a little mean because I do not want that to happen this time. Sorry, I got distracted by that. This is Agni, by the way.
Do we think... Hey, somebody was bringing this up. Do we think that we see him in Falma and then again later on? Or...
Well, okay, so I was going to say, like, Dark Friend Social would be a super cool way to show us him and any other Forsaken. Something you said earlier just made me kind of, like, envision, like, the beginning of Season 2 or sometime at some point just having, like, a cutscene where it just shows people, like, mist into being in like various locations, him being one of them. But I guess if you did that, it would be kind of problematic if you were trying to like conceal the other Forsaken. You wouldn't want to show us everyone, or you could just like show them from behind or something where it's like, okay, who are these people? Why are they showing up? Or like if they show us the seal cracking right before they show those people misting into being, like that would be one like kind of intriguing way to be like, oh, there's bigger baddies you don't even know. Or we could just get the Dark Friend Social either way. There's so many ways to introduce them, honestly.
Yeah, they've already shown us the Age of Legends, right? So
yeah,
we know that there's the sci-fi aspect to this as well.
Yeah.
Okay, because we saw that. Maybe stasis tubes opening up.
Interesting. Stasis tubes.
That that would be that would explain something better than you were sealed, in the board just under the seal, which is why your body age kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that
the stasis tube would definitely explain it.
That would.
Your kitty is either very loving or wants something from you.
He's incredibly loving, like the most loving cat you will ever see in your life.
That's a Mimo cat.
He wants to cuddle.
He's the cuddliest. He literally sleeps above my head, like on my pillow, every single night. So he's my I don't know, my companion. What do they call him in D&D? A familiar?
A familiar.
This is my familiar. Yeah. Like I have other pets, but this one in particular is like attached to me. So
he just loves you, huh?
And like almost anyone, we call him our slut dragon because he will sit on the lap of every single person that comes and visits us.
I thought you were gonna go somewhere else with that.
No,
I was like, well,
no, he's no. Are you familiar with Rick and Morty? Like, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
know what you're talking
Okay. Well,
I just was like, wait a minute, where's she going?
No. It's just...
Hold on. I gotta answer Anna's A.
Yeah. Anas. Yeah.
Anas? I was asking if there's a sci-fi element.
I don't think that's a question. ...
I mean, there's definitely sci-fi.
There's
I
flying
can't tell
cars.
if that's a question or I mean, you have the Joe cars and the Joe car. Is that right?
Joe Car. What are we?
Oh yeah, Joe cars and show wing.
Yeah, showings, right?
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was like, what are we talking about here?
Couldn't tell if that was a question or not. I was like, wait a minute, what?
This is all right. Where we go?
Kitty.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, regardless of who we get or what we get. As I just want it to be. And these guys have to be really bad
and effective in certain ways.
And effective, yeah. I know you're taking a shot at Ishamael again. I get it.
A lot of them. I mean, some are more effective than others.
They are, but I mean, they really have to be, bads. It'll be pretty awesome. Yeah,
I hope so.
I actually did a video on that topic like a year ago, breaking down like not as scientifically as you can be on a made-up fantasy book, but just looking at all of their things that they've done, their accomplishments, their level of power, and ranking. Like I think it's like the top 34 or 24 or something like that agents of the Dark One in order. So like
nice.
Murdral, all the Forsaken individually, like different Black Aja.
I was reading a website that had something similar like that, and it always confuses me because they're like, oh, they're level this plus this, and I'm like, where the hell did plus come from? I'm not understanding this plus.
From the notes.
Yeah, from the notes. So question mark, was Demandred most effective? Who's the most effective agent of the dark? Or I guess
Well, that's a good question. Let me pull up my list.
yeah.
Let me see if I can
Or like
find my list.
Moradin?
Wayne.
I have a list of all
Kidding,
of the
I'm kidding.
channeler strengths.
Oh wait,
I
so
know
you meant
that.
like just strictly like power, not
No,
like
I
who was
did.
the most
No,
effective.
I did power too.
Okay.
I had that. I was just the first list I pulled up.
Yeah, I mean, Nerdy Guns, that's a good point. Effectiveness isn't necessarily a part of their MO. So, like, yeah, they can't be
I
too
just read
effective.
that.
They can't be too effective.
Right.
It's got to be like Cersei level effectiveness, right? Where she sometimes she lands some blows, but then other times she takes some blows. You know, it's got to be a good, compelling villain that you want to watch, and like they aren't too OP, but they also aren't too
Okay, I have
bad.
it.
Okay, let's go.
I have my list.
What do we got?
Okay. Now, do we just want the Forsaken or all of the agents of the shadow?
I say let's say the top 10, whatever they are.
10. It's a lot. Okay, let's go.
Number 10 was Ravine. Had a total score of 27 out of 40. The categories here were fighting ability,
Okay.
political power or command of whatever, intelligence and strategy, and then overall effectiveness. Those were the
Okay.
4 categories. So Ravine got a 27 out of 40. Semirog, number 9, 28 out of 40. Taim at number 8 with 29 out of 40. Samael tied at 29 out of 40 at number 7. Lanfear at number 6 with a 30 out of 40. Number 5, Messana at 31 out of 40. Rendal at 33 out of 40, number 4. Demandred was number 3 with a 35 out of 40.
Oh.
Moradin was number 2, Moradin / Ishamael with a 39 out of 40. And the number 1 most powerful agent of the shadow, at least according to this list that I don't remember making, was Shaidar Haran at 40 out of 40.
It was pretty nasty. I
Yeah.
want to. He needs to be in the show. He needs to be in the show.
He was really nasty.
It was nasty.
That's
That's the
nasty.
kind of villain I want to see.
Just so you can tell my hate of Agador, he was the lowest ranked Forsaken on the list.
I'm
he
shocked.
actually made the list. What?
I'm shocked. Well, hey, didn't he? Wait, please correct me. He's the one who made the Trollocs, right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
Did.
Okay, good.
Somebody told me one day, he goes, well, he made the Trollocs and the Murdraw, and I was like, oh, the Murdraw are supposedly offspring of Trollocs. There's a % chance that they come out as a Murdraw, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Really?
Or in a,
The Murdraw were not intentionally created.
like they were. I thought they were offspring of Trollocs, or a
They
percent.
are.
that
They're
yeah.
when Trollocs mate, and then the human parts of the Trollocs. It's sort of like the 1 out of 4.
Manifests.
Yeah, manifest. Then they're
a small
Murdraw.
percentage that. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
They were like,
I thought it was something weirder than that, or like I don't know, something more scientific than that. Interesting.
it was a fluke kind of thing.
Huh.
Yep. Nope. It was when the human. Again, if you think like red hair, where you have
Yeah,
to
the
have
human
both parents
genes,
have to
yeah.
have the red hair gene
Yeah.
to have somebody with red hair. Same idea. Like when that lines up on the genealogy, then you get.
Which is
Okay.
crazy because they're so different looking. So different looking.
Well, but
I love that. I love that little bit of lore.
that is cool. That
That's Jessica, Midral or recessive genes.
this is unrelated technically to the Forsaken, but kind of because it's on the dark side. Do y'all think we're gonna get the? Oh my gosh, it is too late. The flying guys, the flying evil guys.
Drakkar.
Yeah, Drakkar.
I hope so.
Yes.
I want to see all of them. I don't want it
I
just
think
to be
they
Trollocs.
should make all the shadow spawn.
Yeah, I don't want it to be just Trollocs and Murdral. I want to see all of it.
I want to see worms.
God,
Oh,
would be cool.
but we didn't see him in the blight. That's
Oh,
like
they should have had it in the Blight, but we're not done yet because Rand is still traveling through the Blight at the end of the first season. So
that's true.
I want to see the golem too.
Yeah?
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
I mean
that's
that
got
you've
it.
got it. Like
The only one I think they can cut out would be Greyman. I don't care about Greyman.
I liked it, but I feel like it will be hard to demonstrate their whole vibe on TV, right? Because like if you're looking at a crowd and you just look past someone, no one's gonna be like, Oh, but I guess if you're like in an almost empty room and you just look past a guy with a knife, then I guess that actually would make sense.
No, I mean they kind of pulled it off with Pat and Fane in Faldara. Walked right past all of them, and I think the only reason that Perrin noticed him was because of his wolf senses kicking in or something. I don't know if it was smell or something, but he walked right past him.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, like, it's gotta be, like, if, like, it's not gonna be an obvious, like, shadow spawn if there's not some scene where it's literally, like, there's, like, one guy and he's got a knife and no one's saying anything about it, right? Like, I don't know.
So, on this topic, I wonder if you guys are curious about this. So, in doing this, this isn't actually my rankings. This is the culmination of Robert Jordan's from both sets of notes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you want to know who the most powerful Forsaken are in terms of their ability to channel? In order.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so keep in mind, women are on a lower scale than men.
Right.
The strongest possible woman is a level 8 on a scale of 1. So like 1 being the most powerful you can be, the most powerful woman is an 8.
Okay, so she can't go to 7, 6, or whatever. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
So but that doesn't mean they're not. But he describes it. So I want to preface that by saying that doesn't mean the women are less powerful. It means they can't channel as much raw amount of the one power, but they have more control. So anyways, okay. So the lowest ranked on the list is Ma Gideon, who's actually below a number of other main characters, including Nynaeve. She is actually number 26 on the list.
It's weird. I thought I read something different, but
yeah, Ma Gideon is a rank 11. Okay. Next up is Grendel. She's a rank 10, which is the same as Nynaeve, by the way. Then next is Messana at number 9. She's at level 9. Sindane, so this is Lanfear reincarnated, is also a 9. Olivia is an 8. So, and then that puts Semirog and Lanfear were the two strongest women, and they're both 8s.
Quick question for you though.
Yeah.
So you're saying Lanfear after the whole Finn stuff?
Yeah.
Yep, that's Sindane.
Okay.
She was weak.
She was more powerful before?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Like Moraine.
The Finns drained her a little bit. Then, so the next, Bilal is the weakest man. He's at level 4. Then Balthamel, or / Arangar / Halima at 3. Asmodean is also a 3. Samael is a 2. Taim is a 2. Demandred is a 2. Agenor was a 2. Loghain was a 2. And then there are 3 1s. Ravine, Ishamael, and Ray are all 1s.
I didn't know Ravine was that powerful. Wow.
Yep. Agenor was one of the most powerful in the Age of Legends, yeah.
The things you learn.
There you go. That was from Robert Jordan's notes.
That is fascinating.
I've got a list of every channeler in the entire series that we had.
Holy cow.
And their power levels.
Don't read all the names, but how many channels is that?
299 that we have levels for.
Wow.
And they're all in order.
Ridiculous.
The weakest channeler in the series. Who do you think it is?
Cerelia.
Nope.
Oh yeah, Morgase. Oh shoot.
It's Morgase.
Yeah, good call. Good call. I forgot about the barely with the flag.
She couldn't even. Yeah, she could barely light a candle.
That's a good point.
She's a 79.
A 79
on that list.
He did say Taim. What's Taim again?
Taim was he was like a 3.
Yeah, he was. I think that's what you said. Yeah, so below Rand for sure, which probably he hated, which is just fine. All right, so we don't have a ton of time left. You know, we don't want to keep y'all hanging on for too long. You know, don't want it to get boring. So like, yeah, right. Let's do some like final Forsaken thoughts. Like, I get like you know, the thing you most want to see out of a Forsaken in the entire show, or you know, the thing you definitely don't want to see out of Forsaken. Literally, come up with whatever you want to talk about. It doesn't matter, and it's just got to be about the Forsaken. That's the only rule. Tavern, do you have something?
I said it before. They have to be at a certain level of just nastiness, and I don't mean just disgusting. I mean their planning, their thought process, the way they get things done. The more evil, the better. If they're smarter, that's even better. Their plots have to be on point. Yeah, that's what I want to see.
Yep, agreed with all of that. My one big thing is everybody loves me. Give me crap for this. I want Semirog to make Rand kill Min.
Ooh. Oh.
Yep.
Calm down, Kritter. Calm down. It's okay.
No, that would make such good TV. Oh
would
my
make great
god.
TV.
Everybody's argument is there's no way he could come back for that, and I'm like, that's the point, though. Like,
He was too hard.
yeah, I want him to be just. I want that to. First of all, how terrifying would that make, like, the Forsaken in general? Like, that's what I want. I want them to do things that hurt our main character.
And
that would be nasty. That's right up there in the list of things.
And
that
Min
I mentioned.
does
Yeah.
nothing from that point on in the story anyway. So, like,
besides
at
like
that point-
witness Swan die, right? Or like
Yeah.
Hey,
she's a lamp at that point. So
that would be good. I mean, that would be. And the thing is we don't, in the grand scheme, lose a ton of main characters. Like in the last battle, we lose one main character. One. And we don't lose a lot of like the second tier, like the second circle, right? Which I would include Min in, because I think Elaine is like in tier 1, but I think Min is in tier 2, given just like POVs and stuff. And lose that would make, you're so right. That would make the Forsaken so scary. Earlier,
Make them terrifying, and that's what I want. I want terrifying.
I want Padan Fane to kill Bran Alvear. Also, by the way,
Padan Fane.
I'm evil.
Kill Bran.
Listen,
I want the bad guys to do bad things.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not completely disappointed in Padan Fane. Right? I wanted him to go through that transition where
he goes crazy.
Went from peddler to crazy to you know what I mean.
I'm hoping we get more of that maybe.
I want to see that transition because I want him to be so foul.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's acting kind of foul when he stabbed Loyal and all that stuff, but I want him to be foul.
Yes, and he needs to, like I said, now they didn't make Bran a big character, but if they had Bran be like Book Bran, I would love to see on screen Padan Fane kill him right in front of us, like if you go back to like Walking Dead when they kill Herschel right in front of everybody.
A nice
That's what I
shocker.
want. Yes.
Oh god.
Okay, so this isn't real time, but I've been watching the Halo show.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody else has been watching Halo,
No.
the actor that plays Padan Fane has a role that it's what Padan Fane should be on Wheel of Time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This mad, crazy, ranting. He can do it. I want to see that in Wheel of Time.
Well, let's give him a chance. Maybe we'll get a flashback or something. Who knows? Or like,
I'm loving him so far,
him
yeah.
and Perrin's family. Good point, MJ Daniel. Yeesh. That could be brutal.
Except we didn't know Perrin's. That's the problem, is we don't know them.
It's true.
So
it's true. It's true. We'll have to meet them, basically. Like, there's so many people that we haven't gotten introduced to that we
need
are
to meet
going
them so they can be fridged.
So immediately, yeah. maybe the wife is gonna also take the place of Perrin's entire family.
But
it's
even in the
fulfilling
books,
so many roles. What?
Even in the books, Perrin's family was not all that present in the books. I mean,
which is why it was less impactful than it. They should have killed what's his face, the
Luhan.
blacksmith. Luhan.
Master Luhan.
That's who.
Yeah.
Yep,
Which we didn't get in
dead.
here either. We didn't get that in the show either. I mean, and I get that they had to cut so many people from Emmons Field because there's no way in hell that they can introduce 50, 60 characters, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little disappointing, but it is what it is. But yeah, we didn't see his family in the books either. And when we get back, they killed your whole family. I was like, he had a family? I didn't even know he had a family.
Everybody's got it. I mean, not everybody.
I was like, he had a family? What the?
Real quick, Loyal's library. Loyal, sad face. We're getting Loyal back.
Oh.
They already confirmed he's coming back. He's back. We'll get him back. We love Loyal. Okay, so yeah, we want to see some evil. We definitely want to see some evil. We want to see some deaths. from this Forsaken
Yes.
of important
Yes.
people to our main characters and maybe of some of our main characters, if not like the main, but like secondary main. I like that a lot. I was going to selfishly say I want to see the Forsaken die at the hands of Egwene. Which I know is really, really selfish, but just more generally, like, I like the way a lot of the Forsaken go out, and I like that there is a sharing of the wealth when it comes to how they go out, and there's like a lot of diversity when it comes to the way it happens, right? Some of their minds get blown. Some of them, well, that happens multiple times. Some of them get bale-fired. Some of them, like, I want, whenever they do have their demise, and it's got to be intense because they are a formidable foe, I want it to be very different, like, every time, you know? And I want it to be, I don't want it to just be, like, Rand or just Egwene. I know a lot of people were mad that like Rand didn't get the big moment at Tarwin's Gap, but I liked it because it shared the wealth, right? Rand got to do the cool existential stuff at the Eye, and the girls got to do more of the fighty stuff, and it didn't just leave them sitting, you know, on their hands behind a wall, right? So I like that everyone gets to do a lot of stuff, and the way Robert Jordan spread out those deaths in the books, I thought was fabulous, and I want to see it again.
How many Forsaken did Gwen kill?
Technically none.
Well, yeah, she broke one's mind.
Taim.
Oh, she killed Taim and she broke one's mind. So I think one
she busted Masana's
more or less two.
1.5.
More or less, yeah, and well, she bested. I guess the word would not be
okay.
killed.
We said
the word would be bested because like the way that Grendel goes out too is they were bested, they weren't killed. So yeah, I just like the way it happened with a lot of different people in a lot of different ways, and I want to see it again, basically. Cool. I completely missed. Wait, no, I didn't. I'm fine. Everything's good.
Super excited to see what they do with the Forsaken. Not so excited to see somebody sing a boat out of a tree.
Somebody. What?
The whole behind the scenes animated Ogier thing. That I was like, wait, what the hell just happened?
I like the animated shorts.
The animated shorts were amazing, but I was not expecting them to pull a boat out of a damn tree like they did.
It's true.
I didn't think that's how that worked, but all right.
You know, it's not how I envisioned it either. But what are we gonna do? You know, and also it was animated. They might change tree singing if we actually get to see it in the show. I don't know that we will. All right, so. We got our Forsaken final thoughts. One last plug from everyone, and then we'll just sign off. Nae'blis, why don't you go first?
Forsaken final thoughts. Let's have Semirog kill men.
Next season. You could like
next season.
Yeah, we did that one.
Plug your stuff. Okay. We did our Forsaken final thoughts.
That's my thing. Okay. So you just want me to sign off? I thought you meant like you wanted a final thought, and then I sign off. So
okay.
Part of my sign off is Semirog kill men. Okay.
Okay.
Tune in. I guess I make videos. Watch them. I don't know. Come to WatCon. That's my pitch.
Yeah.
Come to WatCon.
And
hang out.
The link for Nae'blis's YouTube channel should be in the description of this video on YouTube. FYI. So if you somehow aren't following him yet, you should. Nae'blis, thank you for joining us. This was amazing. My final thing is also come to WatCon. I will be there. It will be super fun. I've been a part of the programming discussions, though I'm not technically on the programming team, and I just have to say that some of the things that are being developed right now sound like they will be so much fun to both watch, and hopefully I'll be a panelist for some of them or like a part of some of them. They're going to be so much fun, and I'm getting real antsy because we're less than 2 months away, so it's pretty exciting. So come to WatCon. Follow me on my other platforms. All of my descriptions or my links are in the description of this as well. So are Taverns, and I just appreciate you being here. Tavern, you go ahead.
Merch on Redbubble. I said that before. I've got cool new shiny Wheel and Chill. Go to WatCon. I will be there. I want to meet everybody. And there's a non-sanctioned flat Randlander discussion that will be happening at some bar at WatCon at 2 something in the morning, where we will discuss why Randland is flat, and you can't prove otherwise.
Flat Randland. Oh yeah, this is a comment worth noting before we sign off. Sith guy loses a kinslayer, but Rand will be a minslayer.
I love that. Rand Minslayer. I love it.
It will be soon, Beth. I promise. We'll
What?
let you all know when it's ready. If you want to know if the shiny shirt is up yet. It is not. I've got to figure out how I'm going to do it, either through DMs or maybe an Etsy. Those are making it myself at home. The rest of the stuff is print on demand. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get that done. And Black Tower Podcast is mad at Nae'blis.
For
It
what?
was,
What else is-
they were
what
yelling,
else is
"Leave
new?"
Min alone! Leave Min alone, you heartless killer!" Were the comments that came out.
I am the Nae'blis.
Yeah. Classic
It's
dark
true.
friend.
This
Okay.
is true.
Well, thank you all for being here. This was an amazing discussion. We will be back next week with possibly a Jeopardy show, and also we will be hosting a giveaway of a WatCon membership on.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it in between now and then, but the winner will definitely be announced next week on stream. So make sure that you mark your calendars and stuff, because it's gonna be pretty amazing. Jessica Sadai donated this for me to give away on the Wheel and Chill show, and we love her for that. So thank you so
Yes.
much, Jessica. There will be one
Jessica.
more person at WatCon thanks to her. So amazing, super amazing. I think Nae'blis just froze. But oh no,
No,
you
he's there.
just stopped moving. Oh
I'm
wow,
just,
that was
sneaky. I'm
masterful.
I am. I heard if you stand still, though, people can't see you. You turn invisible.
He's
I heard.
Drax the
Drax
Nameless.
told me.
Literally, you're like. I truly thought that was incredible. Okay, well, on that note, thank you all for being here. This was incredible. Sign up for WatCon and come back next week. Thank you so much, Nae'blis. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me on. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.